This is the MGTOW Infinium here with another Infinium training session. This Infinium training session is entitled, Who Hurt You? The Legalism of Feminism. Now, my MGTOW brothers, from time to time, we as MGTOW men struggle with the central aspect of, am I doing the right thing by going in the MGTOW direction? This struggle often comes at times when we are at low points in our lives and weary of the battle to maintain our freedom. It is also at these times when our innocent who is on lockdown cries out and tries to appeal to our logical minds to release him. This is even when our logical, critical thought processes, which have convincing evidence that our innocent deserves that solitary confinement sentence. More importantly, we as MGTOW men must understand that the aforementioned is an attack not only upon our minds, but upon the MGTOW philosophy itself. It is also important to understand that at the heart of this attack is legalism, which is the foundation of feminism. This legalism can be seen in its most basic overt form under the notion that women are always right and men are always wrong. And although this notion is simplistic in nature, it is a powerful motivator in terms of the unfair treatment which men receive in the feminist plantation state. This is why the simple infusing power of the MGTOW philosophy becomes so profound in the MGTOW man's life, because it counteracts not only the legalism of feminism, but it also strongly contradicts, as well as convincingly, the notion that women are always right. My brothers, a few points of contrast to consider when dealing with this issue are: the legalism of feminism demands that men serve women no matter what. The MGTOW philosophy, on the other hand, instills freedom into a man's heart, thus showing him that his life is not one of servitude to women. The legalism of feminism tries to instill false nobility into a man's heart because it calls for men to submit to any and all behavior coming from women, such as hypergamy, monkey branching, ongoing shit testing, etc. Under this notion, men are forced to sometimes unwittingly into doing things like marrying single mothers and therefore accepting the whole package notion which comes along with the aforementioned. The whole package being her kids, her dealing with the other man that's in her life, that type of thing. The MGTOW philosophy, on the other hand, sheds light onto this false nobility and shows men that there is no nobility into submitting to a woman's bad behavior. Furthermore, the MGTOW philosophy breaks down a man's desires to please and thus change any errant behavior in women by showing him that he deserves to be first. The legalism of feminism demands that men's lives should be fully controlled and directed by women. Thus, men cannot do things in freedom, such as going and coming as they please, eating when they want, etc. Accordingly, women do not have to submit to men in any regard, but rather it is the men who have to submit to women. Furthermore, there is no teamwork in any sense when it comes to women who are in relationship to men. There is only the control of the feminine overlord. The MGTOW philosophy, on the other hand, gives back control to men, therefore negating any type of feminine control in their lives. Once men understand this powerful aspect of the philosophy, they begin to revolt and throw off the reins of feminine control. In the process of doing the aforementioned, men begin to identify every avenue of feminine control in their lives and accordingly set about closing these avenues. The legalism of feminism demands that a man's life should be fully open to women. That is, women must know everything about men who they are in relationship with, and accordingly, again, men have no right to privacy. Men, however, have no right to know intimate details about the women who they are in relationship with. The MGTOW philosophy closes the door to the feminine microscope because it emphatically convinces men that privacy is a fundamental right of all MGTOWs who follow the philosophy. Therefore, men have the right to tell women to MYOB when it comes to issues of privacy, regardless of whether or not women get butthurt in the process when they do so. The legalism of feminism demands that men should not be alone, that they are not entitled to a solitary life of peace and contentment. Indeed, MGTOW men are often criticized because they tend to shun being in the in crowd and shun being with women in general. The MGTOW philosophy rejects this notion, as the heart of the philosophy allows men to determine what's best for them without the intervention of a female, which through the process of critical thought, men discover that it is better to be alone and going in the right direction rather than to be in the company of others who are going in the wrong direction. Now, I'm going to talk about this. That is just a few of the legalisms that come along with feminism, and how we must understand as MGTOW men that we are, first of all, going in the right direction. And no matter what happens in terms of the society that we're in, the process which caused you to be a MGTOW man governs you and separates you from whatever is going on in this society, because it allows you to put forth that desire to be free and to go in the direction which takes you towards freedom. Now, as of this production, Joe Biden has been declared as the winner of the presidential race, and accordingly, Kamala Harris, I believe her name is his vice president. And accordingly, there are probably feminists wringing their hands with glee because of this occurrence. But my MGTOW brothers, regardless of who is the president of this nation, whether it be Biden, whether it be Trump, that has no bearing upon you going in the MGTOW direction. I must remind you that the MGTOW philosophy has been there all along. Although the terminology has come along lately, I guess in the from 2014 on, maybe earlier than that, the concept of a man going his own way, walking away from the feminist plantation state, has been around for decades. So that means that it's been around through many presidencies, many types of directions, whether the Republicans were in control, whether the Democrats were in control. So again, what is going on has no bearing upon you, my brother, you, my MGTOW brother, going in a direction which takes you towards your freedom. You see, my brothers, what has happened is individually as well as corporately, a giant which has been asleep in all of us has been awoken and now has terrible resolve. And that giant is within you. He is that inner man which says, no, I will walk in freedom in this life. I will go my own way. That giant has said, I will do anything and everything to go my own way and obtain my freedom. That giant has said, I will not submit to feminism. I will not submit to the feminist plantation state. And that giant, who was within every MGTOW man, every true MGTOW man who is going his own way, now has terrible resolve. And that terrible resolve has resulted in the state that we are in right now. I must remind you, my MGTOW brothers, that the MGTOW philosophy was doing great damage to the feminist plantation state way before the COVID-19 hit. And now that's resulted in dating coaches running around saying that we have a problem because of the MGTOW philosophy. But yet these women have offered no answer, no direction as to ending what is going on. And so therefore, that giant that is within us, which is following the MGTOW philosophy, has only gotten stronger in his resolve to be free. So therefore, my brothers, again, no matter who is president of this country, no matter who is vice president of this country, that should not cause you to back up as MGTOW. Rather, it should cause you to even further look at ways to continue towards your freedom and go where you need to go, which is the direction of your freedom. My MGTOW brothers, again, it is you individually, but now in the millions worldwide, which has had an effect upon the feminist plantation state. You must consider that fact. When you look at these things, you look at marriage rates going down, birth rates going down. Again, this was way before the COVID-19 hit. This was going on. And although the MSM, the mainstream media, would never admit, this is what is going on. This is what is happening. And we have been through censorship. We have been through a year where YouTube has taken down channels for no reason, just for the fact that they are putting out MGTOW content. We have been through all types of issues, being called out in the press, being called out in the mainstream media, being called out over the pulpits of churches, being told that we are the ones that are causing problems in the society. But my MGTOW brothers, again, that inner giant, which is following a philosophy which says, I am first and I will be free, now had such terrible resolve that it would be impossible now for many to be turned back to the feminist plantation state. And no matter how that simp calls out, who is on lockdown, that innocent calls out and says, I need to go back. I need to go do this. I need to go that way. Your critical mind, who is controlling that giant of terrible resolve, will tell him to STFU. My MGTOW brothers, again, yes, it is important who is the president of this nation, but for you, my brothers, the overriding importance is to stay on the MGTOW path and to go in the direction of your freedom. And as I've stated aforementioned in other videos and other training sessions, it is important for you to hold the line and not listen to these dating coaches again who are saying, we have a problem, to not listen to the simps that are around you that say that you're wrong and that you're insane, you're crazy. To not listen to the women who say that you have issues getting a woman. You're something's wrong with you mentally. To not listen to these things, but to again daily take your red pills and daily embrace the MGTOW philosophy. My MGTOW brothers, again, we are in a profound time. This is an unprecedented time. And this is something that I know myself personally, I never thought would occur, but it has. But my brothers, again, regardless of the economy, regardless of who is president, regardless of who is saying blah, 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 your mission, your directive is to go your way and be free. This is the MGTOW Infinium, and this has been an Infinium training session. My MGTOW brothers, now more than ever, stay safe, stay strong, stay on the MGTOW path, and remember, MGTOW is the liberation of men's minds. MGTOW cannot and will not be stopped.